everybody, and welcome to another amazing video of DIY investing. For today's video, we are going to be breaking down one of our best performing altcoins over this cycle, Solana and its entire ecosystem. We are up over 15x from our initial entries taking place at the end of the year 2022, and with all of the talk around these ETF approvals happening around Ethereum, Bitcoin, and now soon to be Solana, I got a lot of confidence that many of these on-chain altcoins are going to be providing significant opportunity very soon. All the major institutions have began filing for their spot ETFs for Solana, and I firmly believe that this is the moment of truth before that big upside potential sets into the market and billions of dollars worth of trade volume comes in very soon. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you find any value in this video, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to see anything I'm investing in long term, links are in the description. Go ahead and sign up on my website. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And with that being said, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty guys, here we are to start off today's video, and I am super excited to break this down because Solana is an ecosystem I've already made a significant amount of profit on. We posted signals all the way at the very bottom of our bear market in my group. We've been accumulating and holding Solana ever since, and with Solana taking off and really front running all of the layer ones, it gives me a lot of confidence that with these ETF approvals coming through, Solana is going to continue to kind of lead the market, and many of the different altcoins built on Solana are going to do even bigger multiples from here. So if you're feeling like you missed out on Solana, you weren't somebody that was accumulating it back down in the beginning of this cycle, now that it's sitting up around these prior all-time highs, you're feeling like you missed out. This is really going to be catered towards you guys, for people to look for undervalued opportunities that want to make money on Solana, but they feel like they maybe have gotten priced out by Solana itself. Because here's the thing, guys, with the ETF approvals, we've had the Bitcoin ETF, 6 months later or so, we've got the Ethereum ETF, and now with the Ethereum ETF, we're going to see a domino effect where many of these other altcoins are going to get kind of pushed through and they're going to get fast-tracked to get these ETF approvals. Solana is going to be the next one in line. We've had some news recently come out that many of the institutions have now filed for their application of the Solana ETF. This is right what happened before the approval came through with Ethereum, and I think that Solana is getting fast-tracked to get that same approval. So when we're looking at Solana, guys, this is one I've been personally invested in for a long time. If we come over here and look at the chart that I posted back in November of 2022, that we were accumulating Solana at the very tail end of this capitulation because we knew that this was following the same cycle that Ethereum did. It's following the same 4-year cycle timeframes that Ethereum did, and the structure looks identical. Now, I would be lying to you guys if I said that I thought Solana would do a 16x out of this bottom, but that's the thing about these cycles, is they're going to surprise you. You never for sure know what's going to happen, and with Solana front running this much, I'm not telling you guys that you need to go buy Solana right now. I'm telling you guys that it's front running for a reason. There's a significant amount of buy support, and now with the institutions getting ready to start accumulating Solana from the TradeFi perspective, I think that a lot of these different altcoins built on Solana are going to do insanely big multiples, which is why I wanted to really break down Solana, break down some of the ecosystems that we see in here, and give you guys a few of my favorite picks that I think are going to be big winners over this entire bull run. Because at the end of the day, Solana's been on an absolute tear. If we're counting our Elliott waves and basically mapping out where we're at right now, we did just finish 5 waves off of the lows. We've made our first little higher high right here, and then we saw a big 5-wave impulse all the way near to those prior all-time highs. Technically, Solana has made a new all-time high based off of market cap. We can see that it's followed very closely to Bitcoin. The reason why Solana's market cap is at a new all-time high, yet the price of Solana is actually at a lower high, is just because of the fact there has been token unlocks throughout our bear market, and so there's a higher supply existing today than there was at the peak of the last cycle. So technically, Solana is worth more than it ever was in the last cycle based off market cap, but there is more of a higher supply, so that basically just means that the price in dollar terms is a little bit lagging. So when we're looking at this, I think the next big leg up is about to be coming very soon. Now, the good thing about Solana is we've managed to hold support throughout this entire consolidation, whereas Bitcoin made a lower low, whereas Ethereum was working on its lower low. Solana's held support and actually maintained very, very solid market structure. in the shorter time frames, as long as we continue to hold this and assuming that Bitcoin is done going lower in its cycle, I do think that Solana is going to be bottoming here very soon. The reason why Solana has been performing so well is really just all of this, talk around the ETFs, talk about the Ethereum ETF, because everybody was speculating, well, if Ethereum is going to get an ETF, why wouldn't Solana get an ETF? And so it's kind of funny how the second that Ethereum got its approval, and now there's talks about that going live and trading sometime this month, mid this month, I find it, interesting that we're also seeing Solana getting fast-tracked. We're already seeing all of the applications getting filed. People are pivoting. All the TradeFi people are pivoting towards actually getting ready to accumulate a lot of Solana. So up to this point, the only real upside potential in Solana has really just been, speculation around these ETFs. Now that the ETF is approved, I think that the TradeFi people are about to send this thing into a massive new all-time high very soon. All we've done is held this support. So if Bitcoin's going to continue to hold support, if Ethereum is going to hold support, if those ETFs start trading this month and we see new volume coming in, I got a lot of confidence that Solana is going to be bottoming where we're at. The bearish scenario for Solana, if we reject right here and fall back, I think that does set us in for one more lower low, basically down to like 84 to 90, maybe even to like 100, somewhere inside of this support range. That's what I'd be looking for one more lower low. But assuming that we're just going to hold this up in here, assuming Bitcoin's already done with its correction, then at this point I'm actually expecting Solana is going to be bottoming where we're at. The big thing for us in this next move, if we can get back above this like $150 mark, make a higher high, I do think that that sets us in for a potential retest of our descending resistance up in here, because this is going to be our final descending resistance that we really have until we get that new all-time high breakout. But assuming that we can flip $150, we run back up to this level, I'm not going to be the least bit surprised to see something along the lines of this play out, but it would be happening at a much quicker pace than what I drew. This is a 3-day time frame, so we'd pretty much shoot up and do something like that. So this is what I'm leaning towards, assuming that we're going to hold this support. If we don't hold this support, Bitcoin makes one more final lower low along with Ethereum, then I think that it'll look something like this before we reclaim that support and just go back up into that final high. Nothing is changing on the bigger time frames. All we've either done is completed our ABC, or we still have one more final push to the downside to complete that like this. It's not really changing any of the structure for me. Even if the market was to lose the support and drop back down, I'm not really looking at that being some major shifting point. Obviously, that's just going to be deviation before we start the next leg up. So the reason why I'm mapping out Solana isn't really that I'm trying to tell you guys to go buy it. It's not that I think that Solana is the greatest buy, but there's a lot of people that weren't accumulating Solana all the way back down in here, and they watched the entire thing break out without them, and now they're kind of sitting here feeling like, well, I missed out on Solana. What do I go for the next opportunity? I still like Solana, but I don't feel like I should buy Solana in and of itself because it's worth so much nowadays. That's kind of the same situation a lot of people are at, which is why I wanted to break down my top 5 favorite altcoins on Solana that I think are going to see insane upside potential very soon once the market starts breaking out. So for the rest of this video, I'm going to break them down for the people that are looking for undervalued opportunities still primed inside of the Solana ecosystem. Alrighty guys, first one on today's list is going to be WIF. This is Dog WIF Hat. This is going to be the #1 dog coin and meme coin on Solana. And if you're looking for a kind of a way to dictate where the direction of Solana is going to go, Dog with Hat has been an early indicator of the market direction that Solana has been taking. And so it's kind of an index. And I love to use these meme coins as indexes because if we're seeing altcoins running as a whole, it means that we're going to see a lot of that kind of funny money, speculative money, retail money, consolidating in a lot of these type of things that are overly emotional. We see massive hype cycles and big corrections all the way through. And whenever we're seeing kind of the staple dog coins or meme coins blowing up, it's really an indication that there's a lot of money circulating on chain. The real money to be made this cycle is going to be consolidating your bets on chain, as we have Ethereum ETF approvals, Bitcoin ETF approvals, Solana, and the list will go on. All of those have ecosystems of tokens that are going to be blowing up. And so that's the real opportunity that I see this cycle. It doesn't really matter so much whether it's a solid project or whether it's a meme coin. Solid projects and meme coins are all going to run together. So we don't have to be too uptight about those things. We have to understand that this in and of itself is a very speculatory cycle. Now, if we come out and zoom out, and we look at their long-term basis, what we're going to be looking at here for Dog with Hat, this would have been wave 1, this would have been wave 3 and wave 4, and then we just finished wave 5 most recently. It's gone so high that I have to share with you guys on a log scale what the heck was actually playing out. And so this is kind of what I'm seeing based off of our Elliott wave count. We just finished 5 waves to the upside, and we're working on our final correction right here. Now, all this is, from a higher time frame perspective and an Elliott wave count, is just an ABC correction. And if you notice at the bottom of this wave C, how we even retested it most recently right here. We're getting a buyback, and I'm not really anticipating this falling lower. My guess is that this is just going to be our first little impulse, a subwave, I guess you could say. Wave 1, wave 2, and we're going to be getting that next wave 3 probably up to the top of wave B. We'll see a pullback back down to around $3, and then we'll still have another move to come after that. So when I'm looking at the price of WIF, I really do think that this thing's going to be outperforming a lot of these different cycle coins. And this one is really going to be the front runner on the Solana ecosystem, which is funny because in and of itself, it's just a meme coin. But these meme coins have been really the thing blowing up on Solana the most. And so with Dog with Hat sitting at this major support at the bottom of this ABC correction, I got a lot of confidence that we're about to start to see this thing make that next leg up very soon. And all we've ever finished was 5 waves to the upside. So this entire thing was just a wave 1 and a wave 2. We're getting ready for wave 3 next. And it's impossible to know how high it's going to go. But the thing about these meme coins is they're going to surprise people. You know, we're looking at the total market cap sitting here at around just under $2 billion. But 100% of the tokens are circulating. That's what you want to see with any token that you're buying, because if there's a huge amount of fully diluted valuation, for example, if the market cap was sitting at like $200 million, but then the fully diluted valuation was sitting at like $300 billion, it shows that there's a huge amount of tokens ready to be unlocked. Founders are up, institutions are up, whoever the heck was accumulating at the ground floor is all up, and they're going to look to take profits. So a big reason why many of these meme coins have done so well is because 100% of the circulating supply is on the open market. There is no unlocks. There are no, team members and anything that's out here to get you. They're really just 100% organically circulating assets that have been able to perform very well, given a little bit of hype. And so even though it's sitting at $2 billion in market cap, I think that this thing can easily be sitting up, another 25x from the cycle top. We could easily see this thing well over $100 billion in total market cap. And I know it seems crazy to believe that, but we got to remember that Dogecoin did the same type of stuff. If we come back and look at Dogecoin based off of market cap in the last cycle, we're going to see a lot of those same similarities here. Dogecoin peaked at like $98 billion in total market cap, and that was in a cycle where we had a global pandemic. So if we're talking no global pandemic, institutional bull run, all of the retail money flocking here at the same time, this thing can easily hit that $100 billion mark, and we can see it go even higher than that. 100x would be $170 billion. That's really going to be out there. It's possible. I won't even deny that at all, but I really think that these meme coins will surprise people with how much valuations that they're able to gather. Dog with Hat is the #1 meme coin on Solana. So if you're looking at just the staple one to buy, one that's going to outperform the price of Solana, up to this point, WIF has only ever outperformed the price of Solana. Whatever Solana does, WIF does more. It's just like a leveraged token, which is why it pays to be able to buy some of these, be aware of them, and then look to profit off of them once they really start to run. Like I said, guys, these are basically sitting at their low end of support at the end of this ABC correction. I do see 5 waves in this ABC. 5 waves to the downside. Now we're just kind of right here at support before we make that next big breakout. For this one, just to go back up to its range high or the top of wave B, you're looking at like a 1x. So in something that's got $2 billion in market cap to just pretty quickly pull a 1x, double your money, I mean, that's really why I see so much value over here in Solana. There's just a lot of volatility and a lot of room for upside regardless of what altcoin you're buying. Next up is going to be PopCap. This is going to be another one of the top meme coins built on Solana, and this thing is looking like it's ready to take that next leg up very soon. Now, the thing about all of these is they've really only finished their first little impulse. This would have been wave 1, this would have been wave 3, this would have been wave 5. So we finished our first Elliott wave cycle to start this move. We finished our ABC correction after, so all this is a wave 1 and a wave 2. We're getting ready for wave 3 right now. Notice all this new volume that's came in on this most recent impulse. This most recent impulse, all it did was tag the range highs, but we basically just flipped that prior resistance as new support, and we're getting ready for that next continuation. Anytime you see this short-term impulse like this, and there's already a significant amount of new volume coming in, it's always an early sign that this thing's about to be running into a new all-time high. Even though it's sitting at 500 million in market cap, this is another one that could easily do like 25 to 50x gains given the whole entire cycle. And, once again, every single bit of the token supply is circulating, so you don't have to worry about all of these unlocks and things like that. These type of consolidations are really bullish, because what this reminds me of, it looks just like your typical cycle that's about to go parabolic, where you kind of are just making this ascending channel. and then it goes insanely parabolic into a big blow off top. That's exactly what this setup looks like to me, and I could share with you guys a couple examples of that and really what that actually looks like when you're looking at the big picture trend. So we're going to be taking a look at Litecoin from that 2017 cycle, because it really did this exact same pattern where you've got this ascending channel, higher highs and higher lows, just the entire way up, and then it's kind of at that final peak, you come back down and retest it, and then that's what's setting up before a much bigger blow off top. So when I look at PopCap, I pretty much see that same type of cycle playing out. The only difference is we're sitting right here before we get that next major move into price discovery. So if you're talking this type of a move coming from where we're at right now, if we go to $2, you're looking at like a 3x. If we go to $3, you're looking at like a 4, almost a 5x. And I really do think that this is where it's going to be headed very soon. It's going to surprise people. This thing's probably going to do a 10x fairly quickly and end up, you know, hitting that $5 billion total market cap. And this is where we're going to end up seeing a lot of these main meme coins built on Solana starting to get a lot of attention, starting to get a lot of spotlight. We've already seen a lot of attention flocking towards these Solana meme coins based off of our most recent run to the upside right here. But now I'm kind of leaning towards this being the point where now we're going to see a lot of these meme coins really taking off in an even bigger way than we saw prior. The first little leg up was, you know, basically what was happening here. We had only just finished that first leg up in these meme coins. What we're getting ready for now is our big picture wave 3, which if we're comparing it to Solana, this was wave 1 and this was wave 2. This was wave 3 and this was wave 4. And we still have another move to come after that. So out of wave 1 and wave 2, that was where we got the biggest impulse of our cycle. So when we're looking at all of these, they're all in that same point, except they're at the bottom of wave 2, about to hit wave 3. So Solana's going to lead the way. Solana's always going to lead, and then as Solana gets closer and closer towards the profit-taking point, that's generally where you're going to end up seeing a lot of these memes starting to run. So with Solana getting these ETF approvals, talk of it getting, you know, going live maybe this month or the next month, I think that this thing is about to be making that first push into new all-time highs, and that's when we're going to see these meme coins really just kind of making these insane parabolic pushes, going into price discovery and kind of just, you know, surprising everybody. PopCap at 500 mil seems overvalued, but I promise you guys it's not. We have great symmetry in the charts, great volume, everything we want to see for a bullish continuation is playing out, and so you definitely want to be watching out for PopCap. Next up is going to be Michi. This is another one of these meme coins. This one's going to be a lot more undervalued than the most recent two I just shared with you. It's only got $64 million market cap, and once again 100% of the tokens are circulating, so that's going to be the staple across all of these tokens. You don't really want to mess with tokens that have a high fully diluted valuation. Oftentimes they just underperform everything. But this thing is pretty much followed along with how all of these other cycles have worked. We saw 5 waves to the upside. We just finished an ABC correction back down. We've basically broken from all descending resistance and retested it right in here. And so we're all getting kind of a lucky opportunity to be able to buy one of these dips down in here, because all we ended up seeing was 5 waves to the upside, and then an ABC correction right back down in here. So we're finishing out our first little subwave impulse. It's broken out of descending resistance. We have good volume coming in here. And if we were to just go back up to the range high from where we're at right now, you know, you're looking at like a 4x gain. So this is going to be one of those that has a lot more upside potential. But with that, you know, with that being known, just understand that if we were to lose this support where we're at right here, and break back down, it could fully retrace and make a decent size drop, but I don't really lean towards that. The big thing that we have to be aware of is these things are simply just going to follow Solana. So if Solana is bottoming down in here, if we're about to start that next leg up, then every single one of these meme coins that we're talking about are also bottomed and are about to be going up as well. This is going to be the cat meme for Solana. Cat memes and dog memes are kind of the big thing over here, and we're going to continue to see those narratives spinning off. So at only 64 mil market cap, the upside potential is a lot higher because you're looking at a 4x just to the prior all-time highs. This is one of those that can easily go up 10, 20x very quickly, because if we're looking at our fib targets, we've only finished a wave 1 impulse. That was wave 1, this was wave 2. So our minimum target is this 1618 into our next cycle. And then we have another target of the 2618 up in here. So you're looking at a 10x type of move if you're buying back down in here. You know, it's like an 8x, to the 1618, and then it's like a 13.5x all the way up to the 2618. I really do think that this is where these things are going to be headed, and it's going to surprise people in the same ways that it does every cycle. Oh my gosh, why would a meme coin blow up? Why would that blow up when there's such better opportunities out there? The reason meme coins blow up is because there's no insider bull crap. The whole reason why so many coins underperform in the bull run is because they have all of these unlocks. They have all of these founders, all of these influencers that got in early that are now going to create constant sell pressure to the upside. So the upside potential is always much smaller. The reason why we've seen so many of these meme coins blowing up and providing the biggest gains is because they don't have any of that. They're organically launched. They're community driven. There's no unlocks. There's no insiders. The only insider is who buys first, which is really just the name of the game. That's just fair. That's just the fair market, in my opinion. So if we're seeing all of these tokens breaking out, making their first little subwaves outside of descending resistance, and you're looking at targets of 4x to our minimums and even 10x going into our 1618, you really can't go wrong with these guys. And this is going to be that shifting point before we see a lot of these start to blow up. So be watching out for Michi. Every single one of these tokens, I will link the contract address in the description so that you guys can go ahead and find them. Now, next up is going to be Daddy Tate. For you guys that don't know what Daddy Tate is, this is Andrew Tate's Solana altcoin. He has a couple of them, but this is the one that I think will end up performing the best. Now, when we're looking at this one, you're getting an opportunity to buy the dip. So far, it has good volume, and we've kind of just been consolidating around this channel, or what I should say, this ascending support, and it does have the potential like this is a retest off of this level. I don't know for sure. We're going to watch and see. If this thing was to drop, it could actually break down below this, retest this main support back down and here at around 10 cents. Before we ended up bottoming. Sometimes that does happen. You can see these fake outs below trend lines, and that's what's known as the despair. When anytime you have a trend line and then you break below that, oftentimes it creates a lot of capitulation. People rush to sell, and oftentimes that can mark the bottom. So we're going to see how this plays out. But, you know, if we're looking at all of these other altcoins looking pretty much bottomed on Solana, I kind of lean towards this also finding a support floor fairly soon. I don't know if it's going to hold ascending support, or if it's just going to come back down and kind of retest horizontal support, but it doesn't really change anything. If I can get this at a retest of support, that's great. Anybody that can get that retest, I think that's a good buy. But the big thing here is we've already broken from all descending resistance. That was what we did here. Technically, we broke from further descending resistance, which was on this move, and we're kind of just holding on top of that as support. So as it stands, you know, the market structure is bullish. We've broken out of all of our important levels. The only thing that I would say is a little bit less bullish is the fact that we were unable to actually hold this horizontal breakout, right? Because this is where we were holding, broke out of this high, made our first higher high, but then we ended up breaking back down below it. And so as it stands, you know, that was really the only bearish thing that we've seen up to this point. That's why I say it could end up revisiting all the way back down to 10 cents. But if we get that, my guess is this thing's still just going to end up bottoming and then running into a next new all-time high. But it's only got $83 million in total market cap. Mostly all of this is circulating, so it's also going to be following along with that trend. But, you know, from where we're at right now, if we just retest the prior highs, you're looking at a 1.5x. And this one is, for me, it's not so much the chart itself, even though the chart does look all right. It's more so this just being Andrew Tate's coin. So my guess is he's probably going to end up driving the price of this higher. And the real reason why we've seen this token, you know, taking off is because of this token over here, which is going to be Mother Iggy. Mother Iggy really kicked off all of these celebrity tokens that they started to come and launch on these different blockchains. We saw a lot of celebrities flocking over to Solana, and Iggy Azalea was basically the first one to do that, and this is her token. It's called Mother. So I think that this one will have an opportunity to run. The only difference is you're better off buying some of the other tokens I just shared with you because it's still technically below descending resistance. But this one was the one that kicked off all of the celebrity hype, and so I kind of lean towards it having another cycle once we figure out this bottom. As of now, we've just been rejecting below descending resistance, lower lows, lower highs. We're almost to the point of fully retracing this entire move, which is why I don't know if we're just going to hold this support on top of the prior high or if we'll actually come back down inside of that market structure somewhere. The problem with this one is the risk to reward, you know, probably isn't that great in comparison with the other ones I shared with you, considering if we come back down and retraced all the way back down to the beginning of this move, that's like an 80% drop. So you got to be aware that any type of risk inside of this one should be, you know, calculated. Understand that there is a little bit more room for downside because we haven't been able to break out yet. This is going to be one that I think both of the last two, Daddy and Mother, are going to be two that I think have a lot more risk involved versus, you know, coming over here and looking at Michi, looking at PopCap, and looking at Whiff. Whiff, PopCap, and Michi are going to be the safest picks. They've already broken out. But when we're looking at Michi, Mother and Daddy are basically at the exact same point in their structure. The only difference is they haven't broken out yet. So if you're waiting for the best situation, you can try to catch a falling knife back down in here as we're retracing, hoping to catch that first little pump, or you can just wait for the breakout to happen, and then once the sell-off comes to retest that descending resistance as new support, that's kind of where you could come in and buy the dip. So if you're looking at Daddy, it's both of these are kind of in a similar situation. Daddy actually has already broken out of descending resistance, but you know, we did fail the breakout of horizontal support, so we're kind of just falling back down. It's a little bit more undecided where this is going to be headed, but if I can manage to grab some of this around 12 and 10 cents, I think that's a great buy. Mother is going to be the most risky because it hasn't broken out, but I would just recommend waiting for that move. Even if we made one more lower low, it might do something like this before it starts actually making that big move. We should expect any of these altcoins that have had these hype cycles and crashes, once they start to uptrend and go back up again, they're going to make little moves like this. Short breakouts, big retraces, almost fully retracing the entire move if they don't. And then that's where you're really going to be wanting to get into those markets. We can see that that's kind of been the case with some of these, not so much with Dog with Hat, but it has broken out of this short-term resistance, retested horizontal support. So that does look better. PopCat is another one of those that's actually outperformed. It's already made a retest of the range highs, flipped the mid-ranges, new support, and it's looking like we're going to get continuation from here. This one, if you're looking for one to get rich, PopCat's my favorite. I just think that this thing is going to probably give the biggest returns. But then Michi, at the same time, you know, this one I would actually argue is going to give the biggest returns if it continues to follow through with what I was drawing. It's got a little bit more risk involved because it's got a higher market cap. But if we were to see this thing start to bottom and reverse and go into a new all-time high, I think that the upside potential in Michi will be highest. So out of all three of these, I like Dog with Hat, PopCap, and Michi. They're kind of my favorites. Two dark horses that I think could perform really well are going to be Daddy Tate and then Mother Iggy. Both of these are kind of the celebrity altcoins, the beginning of those. So by default, I think that they're going to end up, you know, outperforming the majority of those. So guys, this is the video I had for you. Wanted to break down the Solana ecosystem, give you guys some of my favorite altcoins inside of this ecosystem. We focused on meme coins because meme coins are going to be the thing that leads on the Solana ecosystem. I looked at some of the other projects. You know, you looked at Radium, you looked at some of the other different ecosystem plays, and they just don't look that good. The meme coins are seeming to be where the money is consolidating, and it's not that I'm thinking that that's only going to be the case the whole cycle, but at least for the short term of this cycle, it has been the case, and that's why I think that with these ETF approvals, meme coins will probably benefit first, and then from that, you know, we're going to end up seeing a lot of that money going back on chain, and then that's where all of the real projects will also end up having their run as well. But in the short term, I think that many of these meme coins are setting up for really big gains, which is why I wanted to break them down, give you some opportunity to accumulate these, and make some money once these moves actually take place. So guys, if you found value in this video, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. If you guys want to see anything I'm investing in, which meme coins I'm going to be buying on all of these different chains, there's so many opportunities out there. And if you guys just want to see what I'm doing with my portfolio, you got to join my Discord server. You guys got to join my website, linked in the description below. From there, you'll be able to get access to all of my signals, anything that I'm buying, selling, trading over this bull run, you guys will have total access to. So check it out. Links are in the description. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. As always, peace out.